Unless your name is Patrick Starr and you've been living under a rock this whole time, James Gunn is now in charge of this new DCU. And a few days ago he released his slate for the new DC Cinematic Universe, but it's not a complete reboot like most of us had thought it would be. Instead, it's mostly a reboot, but there are still some old projects with some characters that are gonna continue staying in the future of the DC, so that really confuses me unless there's more to it than we're led to believe. But for example, Henry Cavill is no longer with us, as well as Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, I'm not sure. Apparently Jason Momoa is still sticking around, and I don't know about Cyborg or Ezra Miller, but some say that Ezra Miller may still stick around, which I'm not sure if that's the best idea. And when we move over to the other DC projects like Shazam, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, Joker, the Batman, then things kind of start to get confusing. For example, it doesn't seem like they'll be recasting any of the characters from Suicide Squad or the Peacemaker, because one of the shows in their new slate is Waller. You know, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, but like she's sticking around, and it doesn't seem like any of the other Suicide Squad characters are going anywhere. So that's kind of weird because it was directed by James Gunn. So does he not want his projects to be touched, but he'll recast and reboot all the other directors' projects? I don't know, but we'll see when we go through this slate. And I'm not going to be talking about every project on this list, only the ones that are getting rebooted or the ones that people would most likely want to see. So obviously starting off with Superman, titled Superman Legacy. This movie is set to be released in July 2025, and according to James Gunn and Peter Safran, it focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
I know that they are wanting a younger Superman, like mid to late 20s, and no, there have been no rumors about who will be cast as Superman, so I guess we'll just be seeing all sorts of fan castings over the next few months.
What?
Next up on the DC slate is Lanterns, and by the title of that you can already guess that there's going to be more than one Lantern, so we'll be having Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious and excited to see how this movie is gonna turn out, considering that the last Green Lantern movie was less than ideal.
And please don't make the super suit green or animated.
So the next thing that I want to talk about is Batman, the Brave and the Bold. And this is where things kind of start to get confusing, because we still have Robert Pattinson's Batman, but apparently that exists in another universe, you know, like Elseworlds. But the Brave and the Bold is the introduction of the DCU Batman. And guess what? They're bringing in Robin as well, but not the Robin that we all know and love. Well, even though we all pretty much love all Robins, but they're skipping straight to Damian Wayne. So I don't know if this is your guys' favorite version of Robin, or if you have another favorite Robin, so leave that in the comments. By the way, I would really appreciate it if you tap that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. But this just makes me wonder, because we are not getting a younger Bruce Wayne, we are getting a more older version, you know, because he has to train Damian Wayne. So does this mean that we won't be getting another Justice League movie, or will they be skipping straight to Young Justice or Teen Titans, although we already have a Titans TV show? So I don't know, this is all just kind of confusing because not everything is getting rebooted. It's only certain things, but not everything. So it's a soft reboot, which means we're still going to have to have seen all the previous shows before, you know, where Man of Steel and Ben Affleck's Batman and Aquaman and Flash all exist in the same universe as Suicide Squad, although Suicide Squad is keeping those same characters. But like, what does that mean?
Go fuck another fish, asshole!
And apparently the new Flash movie will kind of reset everything into a way where it makes sense. And I do kind of hope so, because right now everything just confuses me. I don't know if it's simple to you guys or if I'm just overthinking it, but it's all just rather strange how they are kind of going about this whole rebooting of the DCU, but not a full reboot. So I don't know.
Gonna cry?
Anyways, the Batman with Robert Pattinson will continue as usual, so that will be untouched by James Gunn. And it already has a release date of October 3rd, 2025. According to Saffron, Saffron is the spice, isn't it? 2025 will be a big year for DC, but let's just hope it's in a good way and not in a bad way.
If you expect disappointment, then you can never really get disappointed.
Last thing that I want to talk about is Supergirl. And this is a weird one because we already have a whole CW show of Supergirl. Granted, it's not as great as it could have been, But nonetheless, we also have a Supergirl appearing in the Flash movie, and I don't think they'll be using the same actress for the Supergirl movie. So that also kind of confuses me a bit, because if the Flash is supposed to reboot everything, then why wouldn't they use that Supergirl already? But I'm not gonna question James Gunn. He seems to know what he's doing, so fingers crossed, everyone. But that's really about it. And like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't be talking about everything, only the projects that were getting rebooted and just were kind of confusing to most people. But anyways, click here to check out my last video on why Batman can't fight, and I'll see you guys in the next one.